Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to a market close. This is the last market close of February. The month is done. Today is it. The final verdict is in for how the markets did this month. And it's also the last live spin on Wealthsimple. So if you guys, if you're new, if maybe this is your first time tuning in, Wealthsimple currently has a contest on. Basically, they're giving away 15 gold coins worth a total of $100,000. So that's what? I don't know, roughly $8,000 a coin. I'm hoping to win. So every day you can spin a virtual gold coin on their website. Well, actually in your broker, and it will give you anywhere from 10 to 100,000. Now my best is 60,000. I got that last week, but lately I've been getting really small spins. So first of all, guys, post your spins in the chat. I want to see what you guys got. Somebody today needs to get 100,000. Why not me? We're going to do this. We're going to do this live. We are going to do this live. Let's just bring it up here. And you know what? I'm going to spin this. I'm going to spin this way today. Let's see what we. Oh, they're missing 3 zeros. I think 3 zeros got lost, but I got 100. So I have one more chance. That is tomorrow. If I spin, oh God, I just glanced at the chat. I see the 100,000. It's Roku. Roku got 100,000 and his wife got 100,000 earlier in the week. Holy banana bread. Anyway, we're gonna get back to that. Guys, if you do not have any idea what Wealthsimple is, you got to check them out. First of all, let me put the link in the chat for you. Let's just see here. There we go. All right, so I'm just dropping this link. This is Canada's pretty much one of the best brokers we have. It is commission free. It's super easy to use. It's very friendly for people who are new to investing. So, you know, my mom can use it, which says a lot. So it's definitely a good broker for sure. And if you already got a broker, well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with having a couple more. And by using that link I dropped in chat, they'll give you 25 bucks when you fund your account. They'll also throw 25 back at the channel. So that's pretty cool. All right, holy banana bread. Now that that is over, and we're going to get to your numbers here in a moment. Let's first take a look at the chart. Oh boy. So we will start off with the TSX. We're having, of course, well, you can tell from the sign behind me, we're having a red day. So not the best day on the market. Boy, a few different things, definitely a few different drivers in Canada. So one of the drivers, of course, is we had our GDP drop for Q4. It was expected to be positive, but it was not. We did have a contraction in Q4. Not a big contraction, down 0.06. So not a huge contraction, but nonetheless, it is a red quarter. And you know, if we string 2 red quarters in a row, that's a technical recession. Doesn't mean one will be called. But here's the thing. Q3 was positive, and right now Q1, all data is pointing to Q1 being positive. So it doesn't look like there's going to be a technical recession on the horizon, and I'm really not thinking we're going to get a recession this year. Boy. But nonetheless, we did have a red day. We had a little bit of contraction. We're still getting some tech spillover. I just can't believe, within the numbers NVIDIA had on Wednesday, I can't believe the spillover has been as bad as it has been. So we're definitely gonna look at that. We're gonna see that as we go into those heat maps for sure. But big picture right now, green month for the TSX. Quite a green month, actually. I mean, this blue line is where we entered the month. Now, mind you, yes, there's still a half an hour left. And this here is delayed by 15 minutes. So technically, from what we're looking at, there's 45 minutes left. For this to drop below this, I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I didn't see it happening by the end of last week. So definitely a green month for the TSX. TSX is on a roll. Last time the TSX has had a red month, April of last year. So can we, technically, guys, if we can pull off a red month in March, that'll be a full year without a red month. A full year. So that's kind of cool. Okay. Oh boy, looking at south of the border though. Oh gosh. This is not what I wanted to see. The TSX is looking to finish red on the month. They are on the wrong side of that blue line. They haven't had the best day. They are down 0.61%. And the NASDAQ had more work to do than the TSX, and the NASDAQ did not manage to do it. So the NASDAQ finishing 0.43. Now, the Dow Jones and the Russell were the U.S.'s only hope of having anything above the blue line, but alas, well, not quite. The Dow Jones has sunk below the red line, but they have gotten back up, so they might finish in the green. Those good old industrial stocks. There's still some time. We'll see how this finishes out. And the little cap, the Russells. They didn't quite make it down to that blue line, so they're still sitting in the green. So it looks like little caps are doing pretty good. They are down on the day 1.05%, but they had a little bit of a buffer coming into it. Now, one of the things that has sort of helped Canada, believe it or not, even though we're in the red, we did get a little bit of a boost from things like gold and silver. Gold up 1.48, silver up 5.80. Copper up 0.28, platinum up 3.83, and look at this, a nice big bump in oil, 2.91%. Of course, this is the weekend that a lot of people think a certain thing's going to happen over in Iran, and there's some hints. In fact, the U.S. told Americans in Israel to get the banana bread out of there. So, oh guys, we could be very well looking at some action this weekend. So we could be. Oh boy. So if that happens, it could be very interesting. The market on Monday we might have a pretty big spike in oil. We'll have to see. First of all, we'll have to see if it happens. Second of all, we'll have to see the extent of what happens. So, yeah. Everybody is watching the Middle East this weekend, and the U.S. has a lot of forces in that area. So, I can't see them just putting those forces there without actually going through with it. I think they're going to go through with it. Will it happen this weekend? I think there's a high probability. But we'll see. We'll see. They could surprise us. I would love to be completely wrong on this one, but I don't think I am. All right, and now, oh boy, crypto. There we go. Bitcoin, Ethereum, both well into the red today. So not that good. Not that good for sure. All right, let's take a look at the heat map. This is the TSX. Actually, this is all of Canada. It's not just the TSX. But for the most part, we are looking at our financials certainly hurting a little bit today. And it's kind of interesting, like we had the big six, all of them exceeded expectations on earnings and revenue, and they actually weren't that bad. But there was that little underlying thing of loan loss provisioning ramping up, and people are afraid of what's coming. That's kind of where people are looking forward, and they're like, we are not happy. We think there's going to be some trouble. A lot of people think there's going to be a crash, a reset. I'm not there. I look at it this way. I think what we're seeing right now is more fear than anything else. There's a lot of uncertainty going on, and that's what we need to fight. We need to fight the uncertainty, and that will certainly go a long way for sure. All right, now. Most of our energy stocks, mineral and non-mineral, all doing fantastic. Like, look at this. Barrick Gold up 0.44. Well, Cameco is down 0.09, but Kinross is up. London Gold up 1.79%. CNQ, Canadian Natural Resources, also doing fantastic, up 1.19. Enbridge up 1.68. Now, Pemina, kind of interesting. They're actually down a little bit, 0.27. But both of our railroads have bounced back. They were down a little bit yesterday. CNR up a full 1.48, and Canadian Pacific, Kansas City up 1.23. Now, we got the peripheries of red here, but when you look south of the border, it's a little more widespread. Tech definitely not having a great day. Nvidia still just plunging, down 3.57. Apple down 2.83. Microsoft down 2.27. Meta down 2.55. Holy banana bread. The only tech-like company that seems to be doing okay is Netflix, and they're up 14.16%. It seems investors, they're happy that they pulled out of the bid to buy Warner Brothers. So they've basically, Netflix gave the okay for Paramount to move in and do it. So we'll have to see if that's what happens. But yeah, I think investors are liking it. Obviously, up 14.16%, definitely. But yeah, tech mostly down. And if you remember, whenever tech seems to be down and people seems to be a little bit on edge, that money's been flowing into two big stocks, Eli Lilly and Johnson & Johnson, and they're both up. Eli Lilly up 2.16, Johnson & Johnson up, what's that, 1.71. Holy banana bread. Now we get to crypto. Oh boy, yeah, crypto, pretty darn red. We're going to come back. We'll look at the Bitcoin chart here in a bit. We do have a tradition here. I like to pick an altcoin that is doing the opposite of what overall crypto market's doing. So crypto today is red. Let's grab some little green. Here's a green coin right over here. Let's grab this one. I don't know what we're about to look at. All right, and I'm gonna. I should move my head to the middle. Well, have we got a taker? Apparently we do. Here it is, the taker coin. More like, let us take your money and never give you any returns coin. They may be up a little bit today, 14.97%, but they're not even worth a penny. They're worth basically 0.15. So yeah, 0.15 of a penny. Don't know what taker does other than takes your money. And gosh knows how many hoops you got to jump from to get into the taker. So taker, no thank you. I'm not going to take this coin. It's never going in my portfolio. It's dangerous. I call them crap coins for one reason. They're like going to the casino, playing a game of craps. You throw the dice, you're probably not winning. Same idea here. These are very dangerous, guys. Of course, if you're like, wait a minute, I like that name. I think I want some taker coin. Well, be sure to read their white paper. Be sure to find out what this coin is all about. Make sure it makes sense for you. Maybe even follow the developers and find out what's going on behind the scenes, because I'm passing on this one. I am not taking anything. Even if it were free, well, okay, if it were free. If it's free, I'll take anything if it's free. But yeah, for the most part, this one, yeah, this one's a hard pass, not a hard take. And that was my take on that crap coin. All right, too many puns in that one. But there is money to be made in crypto. Maybe not so much today, but stick to the big coins. Your Bitcoin, your Ethereum, your XRP, your Cardano, your Solana, and gosh darn it, even the Dogecoin. All right, let's head back to, actually, you know what? Let's just go to crypto here for a second. So yeah, as you can see, it broke out of, we had this, yeah, we were expecting it to break out. It did break out, and it's hanging now down in the lows. So not a good day for Gary Gill with all of his MTSE, and that is down 7.84% today. So $3.29 it's sitting at. Let's hope we can get a movement back up. I know some of you are swinging MSTE, so this might even be an entry point. But it's a fun one. It's a fun one nonetheless. All right, I'm going to put this back here on the TSX. So we'll just see. And oh yeah, maybe this green can go a little higher. Now part of this too, guys, and I mentioned the the GDP, but another part of this too is we had all-time highs yesterday. There were profit takers out there. Profit takers for sure certainly helped us a little bit. Okay, let's go big screen and let's get into the chat. I need to see if any of you guys got big. Oh, Wahipple, I'm going to miss today. Work slammed again, but nonetheless, Wahipple gifted a Mountain Finance membership. And of course, the Financial Express is on for Monday today. So that's one of the 4. So we're already there. Let's quickly get our evil Monopoly goat out. Boom, bang, done. Goat squad in the building. Loving it. Thank you very much, Wahibble. All right, Stan is in next with a happy Friday all. Lance says, good afternoon, everyone. How was everyone's day in the market? 190 coins for me today. And Nice is in the building. Hello, Nice. If you guys are curious, over on the Facebook group, we got a little something from Nice over there, just sort of showing us, where some of their profits are coming in. And needless to say, their Canadian investments have been doing well. Azenial, this whole year has felt like Liberation Day so far. And it's funny. It's funny that you say that, Zenial. And the reason I say it's funny is that we're just off of an all-time high. This market, the Canadian market has done very well this year, but yet it feels like we've been through the ringer. It feels like we're on the verge of a bear market, but we're not. And things have actually done really well. But it's just interesting that the perception and the reality are so shifted apart. They're really shifted apart this year. Brian says, good afternoon, everyone. And Brian spun a 50 and Scott spun a 50. What's going on with these two? I mean, it's like 50-50. All right. Yeah, and there's the Nightbot. Oh, Kelly, how did you do that? How did you get a 20 again? Is Wealthsimple just sort of saying, all right, we've given out our big spins. Let's just give them a couple of tiny ones to end the contest. All right. Ian, spun 40. Here we go. Bismarcky says, good afternoon. Paul scored 100. And so this is what I got excited about, but it was a lie. It was a lie. Roku did not spin 100,000. It was only 10. Roku, he had me so happy for you. I can't be happy for you with a 10, but you can certainly join our We've Spun a 10 club. He-up is in that club as well. I got 10 today too. Oh boy. All right, Stan, 130. Bismarck, I got 190 today. My highest has been 250. Only missed spinning the very first day. Yikes. So yeah, my highest, as you guys know, 60,000, and that was live on the air. One spin left. I'm not optimistic. I'm not optimistic on that last spin. Perlovia, let's see, with you, Lance, 190 here as well. Scott, I sold all my FTG for $21.95 today, doubled my investment, looking for a pullback to buy back in. How did FTG do today? I have no clue. Let's take a look. Let's take a look here. FTG, here we go. Yeah, look at this, up 176. But that is lower than where you sold. That is lower. So, oh boy, you really got. Let's actually just go to the 1 day. Oh boy, you sold pretty much in the morning here. Look at this. And you said you sold at $21.95. Where the banana bread did you sell at? Let's see, here's a high of $21.92. Oh, look. Yeah, it got up to $22.07 right in. Oh, you timed that perfectly, Scott. You timed that perfectly. Yeah, I still very much like FTG. I have it in the 0 to 100K challenge. I did not sell any of it, but if we get a pullback, I certainly would like to add. And just give you an idea of this is kind of the move that we've had, and we are due for a pullback, absolutely. Oh gosh, excuse me. All right, Ian said, finally got my tax receipts from Wealthsimple. Going to get hammered when I file income tax this year. All right, yeah, all right, hammered as in by the taxes. When I first got to the going to get hammered, I thought it was an alcoholic type hammered, but or maybe you could probably do both. I mean, oh gosh. Brian says, I did some shopping today. 15 6E, 16 S-Day, 3 CPCC, 2 QQI, 1 NAGY, and 3 MSTE, and a partridge in a pear tree. All right. Sorry, I had to throw that in. Brian says, oops, Maggie, not Naggy. All right. And Michael is in the house. Hello, Candace. Did you enjoy the bounce in Extendicare today? Oh, yes. Let's take a look here, guys. EXE. So Extendicare, I hold this one in the challenge as well, but look at this. They jumped up today, 10.435%. It's got to be earnings. I did not realize they were having their earnings today, but let's take a gander in here. I have a feeling that looks to me like an earnings jump. That looks exactly like an earnings jump. All right, and let's go down here to Extendicare. Yep, here it is, earnings. Let's see here. This is really, really interesting, guys. So you'll notice here they only beat on earnings, and they beat by 8.01%, which is fantastic. Earnings is more important than revenue normally, because revenue, they missed by 11.11%. But there's a lot of reasons you can miss on revenue. And I don't know what the reasons were, but I'm also thinking in this case, because when you look at the size of this candle. So actually, it's really interesting. So initially, investors sold off because look, they dumped. So that revenue did impact them. They dumped, and then something really excited people. Maybe it might have been something in their forward guidance. And I'm just seeing over here, there's a little bit of news about a major acquisition. That's probably what it was. And they loved it. So it's kind of like, it's almost like a bipolar candle, right? It's like, whoop, deep into the red and then shot like almost like it was pulling back for for a lift to the upside. But yeah, look at this, fantastic. I love the end result. And it goes to show that sometimes the headline numbers don't always tell the full picture. So in this case, I think we're seeing exactly that. Actually, I think we're seeing both. I do think it fell and then went zippity doo-dah back to the upside. All right, Lance said, I bought some HHIS and MSTE today to lower my average cost. I still think MSTE is going to chop sideways until the fall. All right, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, if MSTE could get themselves, like, if Bitcoin gets into, basically, if Bitcoin does MSTE, Bitcoin will do it. That'll cause Strategy to do it, which will cause MSTE to do it. But if we could get a good sideways channel going for a bit, there could be opportunity to be swing trading in that area. Mary is in the house and spun 160. Guys, Mary is our official captain of the like button. So if you have not yet hit that like button, now's the time. I do like to get to about 70, but this is a Friday. So for now, you know what? I don't even know how many we have. Let me look first and see where we're at, and I'll give you guys a like goal, or a goal that I like. It's all right, we're at 28. Let's get to 40, and then we'll move from there. We'll get to 40. I'll have some coffee because I know that there's about, how many? Oh, 12 of you right now who are hitting that button. Oh, so good. Gosh. All right. Doorpat says, oh my God, red month of love, truly. Yeah, well, we had Valentine's Day, I guess. The red stuck around. At least for the U.S. Very green month for, for the TSX. And just, let's go back there one more time. I want to sort of give you guys some context here. So right now for the month, and this is, this is basically up 3.66%. Year to date, we're up 7.98%. So that's fantastic. That is fantastic. We're well on track to have another crashing year, as in crashingly good, not as in, oh no, we're going to fall. I probably should have used a different word. Scott says Netflix will just buy Paramount when they file for bankruptcy because they're taking on huge debt they won't be able to repay. Yeah, who knows? Who knows? Paramount, Paramount though, they've got very deep pockets. I think Paramount would be fine. I personally wanted the WB to be purchased by Netflix. I did not want Paramount to win this one. I really didn't want Paramount to win this one. But, no, well. All right, let's see. I also still think Bitcoin is going to do another dip early March, and I think the support level of 60K is going to break before spring. Gonna pull all the dips for MSTE if I can. All right, all right. Are you gonna buy all the dips? All right, we'll see. We'll see. You could be right. Cynthia, you got 200. That's a lot better than 10. That's a lot better than 10. All right. Well, it's like it's like 20 times better than 10. All right. And the Financial Express, we do have one in, so we are 3 away from adding a show on Monday. We still, of course, do have our Sunday show. That's a normal staple. Ian says, remember we had a real bad close for January, same as today. Not even close, not even remotely close, Ian. Not even remotely like that. The bad that we had for January, and here, let's take a look. All right. So here was the bad that we had for January. It was, we basically came down. We went we went below the line and then we came up. So I don't know exactly where the line was, but the line was down in here, but we did touch. We came down pretty close. Yeah, that's funny because I don't know where the line was, but we came close. We still finished in the green though. That's the thing. So we lost pretty much the entire month of gains in January. Look at this. We've lost nothing. We've lost that. Compare that to that. Not even close. Not even close. And I like to agree with you a lot, Ian, but in this case, I got to disagree because it's not even remotely close. All right, Samantha is in the house with a hello all. Karachichan is saying, hi Candace, if gold lost 33%, is that mean that CMGU will go to 0? No, I wouldn't say that at all. I don't think, first of all, I don't think gold is going to lose 33% anytime soon. You got to look at this. A lot of people, when they analyze things like gold, they look at it from one perspective and not the other. So for example, they might look at it as a store of value. And it's like, okay, well, yeah, right now people are putting money into it. It's inflated because people are nervous. Sure, there is some of that. Absolutely. Now, the thing is, though, gold is also, it's also highly, highly sought after for, for electronics. One of the reasons, oops, we got a minute to the bell, is that gold is corrosion free and it conducts electricity really well. You put those two pieces together, and that's highly, highly, highly important when it comes to circuit boards, when it comes to a lot of different technologies. So I don't see gold falling 33% at any time soon. So I will say that it's kind of, now, I mean, if it did, CGMU, and let's pull this up here. CGMU. So here, this is your mega long 3X. All right. Now, here's the one thing you have to remember with this. So because it's a 3X, would it go to 0? No. Would it go low? Yes. And that's because, this here it's moving positively with gold. But the one thing you have to, just a second, it's bell time. And, oh, I said I would go. There we go. I went rough on it. I said I would yesterday. Welcome to the weekend. Welcome to the end. We're now technically we're moving into the March trading session now. Yeah. So one of the things that you have to remember is that this leverage resets daily. So it's basically going to be 33%, or sorry, well, in this case here, 3x on each daily movement. So it kind of works in a funky way that way, but would it go to zero? No. Would it be catastrophic for your investment? 1,000,000,000% yes. So, and I will tell you, with a fund like this, you do not want to be holding it a long term. It's not. All of these funds like this, they're not designed to be held for a long any amount of time. These are tools for day trading. It's like if you have a day where you know gold is going to be flying off the shelf, you would get in the morning in this, cash out later in the day. That's kind of what these are for. But they're highly, 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 highly dangerous, not for inexperienced traders, not for investors, for sure. So be super, 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 super careful. Unleash the goat to war. I don't have a war goat. I'm not gonna. I won't. Even if the war happens this weekend, Larry, I'm not making a war goat. I don't know. It feels to me. It feels inappropriate. Inappropriate. But yeah, we're probably looking at war this weekend. That's what I'm thinking. Let's see. Hi, Candace. Do you like CGM? You made 500% in 1 year. You can make a ton of money with it. Absolutely. But it's highly, highly, highly dangerous. So, for that reason, I simply can never endorse some of these big leveraged funds. So I can endorse I can endorse 25% leverage. Heck, I could even endorse 50% leverage. But any leverage that is basically 100% or more and resets daily, I can't endorse. I simply can't do it. I'm sorry. But yeah, if you're experienced and if you know what you're doing, you can make a lot of money with it, for sure. No ands, ifs, or buts. But that's the thing. You need to know what you're doing. Perlovia, I will admit, only trade in the TSX. Actually, no regret. There we go. Claudia says, hello, everybody. Total spins 2830 in 27 days. Ooh. So you didn't get... All right, Claudia, tomorrow has to be your day. You have to get a big one tomorrow. Because I think tomorrow is the last day for spinning. Rundu says, hi, y'all. Just opened a position in Matrix. A little position. I love Matrix. Like I said yesterday, this was an ETF I didn't know existed until I dug the other day when I was looking for a company to do a deep dive, and I like it. I like it a lot. All right, Scott says, I'm guessing FTG will adjust down to the $20 range over the next couple of days. If it doesn't, I'll put the FTG profits into Canoe. Well, the next couple of days. You're talking about the next couple of trading days, I hope. All right. Punky says, hi. Patrick in the house. Love the show. Added more Biggie HHISQ Day, USCL on discount X divvy date. Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Sue is in the house. Happy Friday, everyone. Had a great week. I'm so happy. I held on to my NVIDIA. I almost sold it on Monday because I was getting tired of Trump interfering. I'm so glad that he did now. So you're glad that you held it. All right. Okay. 120 on the Wealthsimple spin. Let's see. I only added 3 shares of Netflix. Wish I bought more. Yeah, Netflix. What a day. What a day. And yes, we had the Benel. We had the Canoe. And the Nightbot. Yes, we do have the Financial Express moving. Rory, afternoon. Why won't Canoe drop? Because they just, part of it's the diversification that they have. And you take today, Oh my gosh, you know what? I would not be surprised if Canoe hit a new all-time high today. Let's take a look. EIT. Okay, no, but they did climb. I was expecting a climb. They still haven't got up to that 1720-ish that they were at here, but yeah, because obviously one of the things that Canoe holds is energy. That they do hold some energy in there, so that obviously is, obviously being pushed up a little bit. Obviously pushed up a little bit with the threat of a war. Dorpat says there's no war. He won't want to lose midterms. He is taunting this to distract his people from Epstein. That's an interesting thought. I mean, I thought when he said they were releasing the UFO stuff that was more of the distraction, but or it was just kind of him mocking because of Obama. Obama saying that yes, there's aliens, blah blah blah. What can I say? I like Neil deGrasse Tyson. He came out and gave his statement on it. He was like, "Look, if there's aliens, just show us the body. Show us the body, and then there'll be no more argument on it." Yeah, absolutely. I honestly don't think there are aliens. Like, I think there's aliens out there. I just don't think they've been to Earth. Just the physics of what it would take to get here. I don't think they would be coming here and just sort of, being secretive in the sky if they actually made that amount of a journey. Oh my gosh. I think no, they'd be here and they'd be like, "Hey, we're here. Hello." All of that fun stuff. All right, Michael says, "Hello, Candace. Can I get your thoughts on Decisive D? It's been on my radar for income, but it keeps on rising, which is unusual for an income play." Okay, so Decisive Dividend. All right, here, DE, a Decisive Dividend Corporation right here. They're coming in at, and this is funny. Normally Michael's asking me about a U.S. company, but this one's a Canadian company. So yeah, this is a nice little company. Now they have a half decent dividend. It's 7% yield, a monthly dividend. But and I'm going to pull up the last year. They've had a pretty good year. Now I was holding them in the challenge on this segment here. I rode them up here, and this amount, when we were getting up around there, I kind of figured we were above where we should be. So I sold them, and I always intended to get back in. I never did though. But yeah, they crashed big time, and but now they're starting to do a little bit better again. Now they basically, if you think about warehousing and things like that, that's the type of things that they have. So let's see here. They've got manufacturing, warehousing, all of that type of stuff. That's what they invest in. So they're a acquisition-oriented company. What can I say? So I do like them. I think they're good. I think they're strong. I think they're going to continue to start moving slowly back up. Will they get to this $11 that they were at that point? Not for a while, but I think you'll see, some sideways movements, then a little bit of movement up, sideways, up, sort of step. I think you'll see that with them. So yeah, it's not a bad company, and it's a half decent dividend. Rory. Not the Epstein from Welcome Back Cotter, anyways. Yeah, welcome back. There we go. Working. Lisa. Lisa says, "Hi, everyone." Perlovia. My favorite swing stock for February was ITR.V. What was your favorite? Oh, you know what? I gotta say Tesla. Yeah, the last part of the month sucked, but the first part of February was not that bad. So, yeah, I'm thinking it. You see, now I'm. But then again, let me backtrack. Ivanhoe also was pretty good. Like here, let me pull. You know what? Here, let's go over here for a second. Let's compare the two. And we're going to go into swings. Here we go. Let's go to Tesla first. There we go. All right. See, this is the thing here. Well, we actually hold on, because you said February. See, I'm thinking of the year, because this was mostly January where we had, this was so good. this area here in January. But yeah, I know it kind of petered a little bit here in February. So yeah, well, maybe, you know what? It's probably going to be IVN. Let's go to IVN. And yeah, IVN had, yeah, look at this. Look at this. This was really, really good. We're kind of in a, like right now, I'm really shocked we did not get up here. Like I'm expecting us to break out of this channel. And right now, IVN is just being, well, there's a word for it. There's a word for it. That's what they're being. And they're just not doing what I want them to do right now. They're kind of going sloppy now, and I don't like that because this was such a clear channel, and now they've gone a little sloppy. So it might even be a situation like, you know, where they broke out of the channel without breaking out of the channel and formed a new channel within the channel. That might be what's happening, but I think right now I don't think so. I still think they're going to get up here. I really thought I was going to be out of this one. Actually, I was looking for a breakout. I was hoping to get up here to about 18 bucks or so. I'm still hopeful. I'm still hopeful, and I'm still hopeful that that might be what we're going to see early this week. So that's what I'm hoping. All right. Sorry, Candace, that should have been Netflix, not Nvidia. Okay, so that makes a lot more sense. That's why I was like, oh, you're happy you held it? Yeah, Netflix. All right. I'm still waiting for a bigger pullback on Nvidia. Oh, you've got a bigger pullback already. Bleak says, hey, all. Big volume on Coca-Cola. So I guess the instructions are expecting something to happen this weekend. Could be. Will Artemis 2 ever launch? I really want it to launch because obviously, you know, we got a Canadian astronaut who's going up on that, and they're going to do a moonshot. They're not landing, but they're going to orbit the moon. So, yeah, they've had two. They've pretty much scrubbed 2 launches so far. So I think the earliest it could launch now at this point is May, but at the same time, you know what? They found things that were wrong. I'd rather they fix them. I'd rather they fix things instead of putting astronauts in jeopardy. So, you know, let's hope they get their stuff together. Let's hope so. Lance, I think aliens are real and are definitely visiting Earth, maybe just to monitor. If aliens didn't exist, then humans are either the first or last signs of life in the universe. Here's the thing, though. I mean, it's just that, you know, there's definitely life. Like, I think life is probably very common in the universe, you know, and I have a feeling that we're going to find, I think we'll find life. I think we're going to find signs of life on Mars. I think there was life on Venus before, you know, they had runaway global warming. I also believe there's probably life on Europa in the oceans. So I think life is probably very common. Now, intelligent life. Getting to where we are, it takes a little bit more. I mean, just look at how long it took on Earth and how many mass extinctions we had. So I think that and then even then, once you get an intelligent species, that intelligent species has to stay along for a while. Like we've never left our, well, other than you could say Voyager, you know, technically is kind of almost outside of the solar system. I think it's still officially in the Oort cloud, but here's the thing. The chances are that we're probably going to destroy ourselves before we make it to another star. So, you know, if we're calling ourselves intelligent based on that, there's probably a lot of, you know, other worlds out there where whatever they are, you know, let's just call them people. We'll call them people for now. We'll call anything intelligent people, all right? So there may be people out there that they don't make it as far as we do. Maybe their Cuban Missile Crisis ends in them blowing up their world. So, yeah, I think, you know, I think that they're out there, but just to get here, I mean, could you imagine, even if we found if we found a planet on a star and it was going to take us crazy amounts of time to get there, and then we're just going to, spy on them? You know, and I don't think so. I really don't think so. You know, I think that I think there are UFOs or, UAPs, but I don't think they're what we think they are. I think some of them are military ships. I think, I would even be more inclined to say maybe some of them are from an alternate universe. I mean, to me, that would even make a little more sense. If we had a multiple number of Earths and we could find a way to move between them, well, that might be easier than going out into the cosmos. And even that, now we have no clue how we could even do that. So, and I could be completely wrong, Lance. I hope you're right. I'd love to have, some aliens drop by and say, "Hey, how you doing?" I'd be okay with it. What do you think about this? Let's see. By choosing the global version instead of the pure US version, so JGPI instead of JEPI, you also include stable companies from Europe, Japan, and Japan, which spreads the risk if the American tech bubble were to burst. You know what? Let me see if I can see this. Let me see if I can see this one. JGPI. In theory, it sounds like. No, you see, and I don't even have it. I don't have it. JGPI. Yeah, what you're saying, absolutely. It sounds like it would be very interesting. Let me Google this. JP. GI. Let's see. Let's just see if I can find it. JPM Global Equity Premium Income Active. All right. JPM. All right. It looks like JPM sort of looks like what we were looking at. I don't have that exact ticker though, Nice, but yeah, I think it's a good idea. I think it's actually a better idea. So when we look, for example, when you just look at something like VFV and you compare it to something like XEQT or VEQT, if we want to stick in the same family, it's better to have the more diversification. It does give you that more stability if you do have some bigger sector issues that happen in the States. Although with the United States, unfortunately, when a lot of their economy sputters, it does impact the world. But as more and more countries start doing what Canada is doing, right now, even today, I heard that China was looking at dropping a few more tariffs on Canada, or not dropping them on us, but dropping them as in removing them. So, we're starting to see more trade, and I think a lot of countries are starting to look at, we can't rely on the United States right now. So we're starting to get more trade amongst, Europe and Canada, Canada and Asia, Canada and Australia, and obviously probably even more trade between different European sectors as well. So maybe Scandinavia is now trading a bit more with Europe than, especially for things that they may have traded with the United States for, whether it be Norway, Sweden, Denmark, or, any of those countries. So yeah, I like that idea. I can't find JGPI, unfortunately, but there is a JPM. So, and I just wonder here, let's just take a quick gander and see if I can find the JPM in here. Let's see here, JPM. Yeah, that one I can find. Oh, there's the CDR for JPM because it is a US company, but that's fine. The CDR is just fine. So this here is JP Morgan's sort of their global equities one. So, and this is the CDR here, actually. Let's go here. Just look at the last year. Yeah, and it's been a bit of a climb. It's been doing okay since Liberation Day. So yeah, I think that's not a bad idea. All right, Lance says the tech needed to get here is well beyond humans, but the tech needed for ants to cross the ocean is beyond them as well, but we do it. Live long and prosper. That's true. That's true. And there are theories on how to do it. But the problem is, well, first of all, let's just talk about space speed. So if you take a rocket ship and you get it, the faster you move, the more energy it's going to take. So if you were to actually approach the speed of light in a physical rocket ship, it would actually be, it would almost be impossible because you would need more and more energy to do it. So to get close to the speed of light, you would almost get to a point where you would almost need infinite energy because your mass becomes larger as you move faster. So it would be incredibly hard to do it that way. So yeah, and now and now you're probably sitting there going, well, Candace wormholes, or or compressed space, or warp space. Yeah, those are things that could certainly happen. They would still take a lot of energy. And a lot of that energy is stuff that right now we don't have that capability to. And maybe, and this is the thing, for us to think that we know every rule of the universe at this stage, it's a silly concept, because I think that the universe still has a lot of surprises in it for us. Like a lot. Like I think we probably know the basics, but there's probably a lot of exceptions and things like that that we just don't know yet. I'm hoping AI helps us get there, to be honest. I'm not anticipating, like I don't think we're going to be breaking the speed of light anytime soon, or at least shortcutting around it. But, and that's the thing, because here's the thing with space travel, and this is what a lot of sci-fi gets wrong. So even if you're moving, if you're moving like a significant amount of the speed of light, even though you're obeying physics, there's all of that relativity with time, and time becomes one of these things. So a lot of space shows don't, whether it be Star Trek or anybody else, they don't sort of acknowledge the fact that, when they are not warping space, when they're going fast, some of the time distortions are there. So, it's almost like in space, if you really don't want to be dealing with all of the weird timey-wimey stuff, you would almost need to not even try to go fast. You would want to go to some of these exotic solutions, whether it be, creating wormholes, or whether it be warping space, because then you can sort of avoid a lot of the time stuff. Like, you don't want to basically go on a quick little trip and you come home and, you're still 20, but your family are now, old, that type of thing. So anyway. All right, you're taking me on a tangent, Lance. All right, let's get over to Nice. Can't get the US version because of EU rules. Oh, all right. So that one you mentioned, which exchange is that on? So I don't think it's on the Canadian exchange. It must be. Is it on a EU exchange, or? Bob says, I finally caught you in a live. I know, and I'm still trying to get my foot out of the net. It's kind of, yeah. Bad joke. Tom says, IVN knows you're tracking them. I know. It feels that way. It feels that way for sure. Oh, so good. DBG still is only taking core samples and waiting for someone to buy them out. Interesting. Funny thing is, if they've got good core samples, that could happen. It could happen. Scott says there's no intelligent life in the universe anywhere. You could argue that. Larry says, I see aliens at Walmart all the time, and not the intelligent kind. Oh, gosh. Walmartians. Ooh, that's a good one. All right, and the Nightbot still in there. Lance says, also, aliens tens of millions of light years or more away looking at the Earth are seeing it as it was when the dinosaurs walked the Earth. Yeah, absolutely. You have to look at it that way. Like, all of our TV and stuff, even stuff from, the beginning of television, it's hasn't made it that far out into the universe. I'm just trying to think. You look at it, it's going at the speed of light. It's only about, 50 light? Well, no, I guess now we're probably looking at about 80. We're probably looking at 80, 90. But then if you look at all early radio programs, they might be 100, they might have made it out 100 light years. But there's not that many stars within 100 light years. There's some, of course. But we haven't really even gotten out that far. And the reality is, by the time, there might be, let's say we have that super advanced alien society that's living, 100,000 light years from us. So by the time they realize we're here, we could already be gone. So that's kind of the one, I guess, the one downside. Perlovia puts a new spin on rollbacks. Ah, yes. Davin, I don't know if anyone here has listened to Isaac Arthur on YouTube. Talks about futurism, really good videos, and the Fermi paradox. Ah, yes. The good old Fermi paradox, as in, why aren't we seeing any of these aliens? And the Drake equations, yeah, and that, of course, well, the one thing I don't like about the Drake equation is, we don't know all of the terms exactly, so we have to kind of guesstimate at a lot of the, a lot of the constants and things like that in there. But yeah, there should I still think there should be a lot of aliens. Niece, I have dated an alien for 3 years. Never again. Ended badly. Yeah, I hate that. It's like, yeah, it's like, oh yeah. Oh, I just saw something. How did I not see this earlier? Lance dropped in and gifted a Mountain Finance membership. So congratulations to Markle 1, and that is our second goat from the Goat Squad. This is our Bay Street goat in the house to to ring the bell, even though it's already rung. But thank you very much, Lance. And that, guys, does take us to the halfway point. We're halfway to adding a Monday show. All right, now. Scott says, it's no fun being an illegal alien. Yeah, that's a Genesis song, Lance says, I definitely think you're right about UFOs. Most of them are probably planes, jets, or even some sort of drones. Yeah, well, here's my proof. So the stealth bomber, we didn't actually officially see them until the Gulf War. These big triangular-shaped crafts. Well, if you look at all of the UFO reports from back in the 70s, and even into the 80s, a lot of triangular UFOs. That, to me, I look at that and I'm like, okay, that's a secret craft that they've had for a long time testing. So yeah, a lot of those triangular UFOs that people saw, they were stealth bombers, simple as that, out testing them. And yeah, maybe Area 51, who cares? It could very well be a very top secret base. Maybe they used it at one point for testing the stealth bomber. It makes sense to me. It makes sense. All right. Lance, I think the leading theory is not to move through space, but to bend it around us or wormholes. I wish we lived during a time when space travel was an everyday thing. Beam me up, Scotty. Yeah, I would, well, I'll tell you, just now that you brought it up, I'd never use a transporter because quite literally the you that materializes on the other end it thinks it's you, but it's probably not you. So you're probably dead because they disintegrate you. And you're not going to survive that. They may recreate you and they may give it all of your memories and it thinks it's you, but you're dead. And that one, as soon as it beams back, it's dead. And there's another new you. So if anything, if I was looking for an advanced way to have to get people to a planet's surface from a starship, I would be looking for portals or just, open up a little wormhole to the surface. That way there, you're not having to destroy yourself and recreate each time. So you'll get to continue living. Jackie, travel in wormholes is very fast. Hypothetically, can be done. Einstein's theory. Yeah, absolutely. Hypothetically. And hypothetically. So let's just say if you could move very fast and you could create a wormhole, here, and you could, at today's date, you could drag it in. You could actually drag it into the future. Now, there's a process to do that, and I don't remember the exact specifics of it. But that's one way that you could technically even create a time machine, which, unfortunately, though, you could never go beyond when you create the machine. So, that time machine can't go. If you make it in, let's say, 2030, you can't go to 2020. who'd want to go to 2020 anyway, pandemic. But you wouldn't be able to go until you're limited by when that is created. And that's kind of an interesting theory as well. All right, Scott, we don't understand why mass curves space-time, what we call gravity, until we do, we won't be able to travel great distances. Yeah, I mean, obviously, there is, I actually heard a theory recently that people were wondering why gravity is so weak. And there's a theory that gravity may not work in just one dimension. So if gravity works through multiple dimensions, as in, once again, multiple universes, if it's working across a couple of them, that could explain why gravity is so weak, and it could actually make gravity a lot more important. But anyway, Lance says, sorry, but I love space talk. And Perlovia is getting spaced out. The passive tycoon, all right. You may have covered this, but Canada's economy is going to get worse. No one, and I mean no one, is bringing capital to invest in our country. Anyone who says otherwise is being dishonest. Well, yeah, we've got, I mean, one of the interesting things, I guess the interesting thing about Canada, first of all, we've done so much better than we should have. Like, we should have been in a recession. We should have, the whole tariff thing should have really, really hurt us. Now, the fact that we are getting more trade, that is helping. That is certainly helping. But yeah, investing wise, and it's kind of weird. I don't know, because I think Canada right now is kind of an interesting thing. I mean, when you look at our stock market, for example, our stock market, it did better than the world. Like, we had the best stock. We pretty much had the best stock market in the world in 2025. So, yeah, I mean, there may not be a lot of people investing in us yet at this point. Hopefully, I hope that changes. But, yeah, I think it is rough. I think it's rough at the moment, for sure. So, there is definitely some credence there. But I think there is a way out, and I'm hoping things do improve. All right, Luke says, Candace, is BRK, Berkshire Hathaway, a good hedge for big market crash? They could deploy all that cash and profit from recovery, right? Yeah, that's one of the things that, so they're very good at watching what the market is doing, and they're very good at converting things. Like, they will sell. Like, Berkshire Hathaway has no problems with taking profits. And sometimes it doesn't, just because they start selling, it doesn't always mean that the market is doomed, because sometimes it's just like, this is a really good opportunity right now, let's grab some profits from this, and they do that. And it's part of it. Sometimes it's rebalancing, sometimes it's just that they have money that they can deploy in case the market goes south. And they usually have a good amount when the market goes south, and they buy, and that's one of the reasons they're so successful. They buy a lot of really good assets when they are down. So they're buying like crazy in a bear market. All right. And Larry, oh boy, I missed this one too, guys. Oh, okay. It just came in. That's why. All right. We got a super sticker from Larry. Picked up Take Two on the drop. GTA is coming. That's right. Grand Theft Auto. Take Two is the name of the company that runs them. But Larry has released, and this is kind of appropriate for the topic we've had in the last little bit, Space Goat. We got Space Goat in the building. All right. Well, thank you very much, Larry. And guys, we're one away from a Monday show. That's not a bad move. Yeah, Grand Theft Auto. I mean, people have been waiting for that for a while. Is it number 7? Is that, I don't know. I might be getting it mixed up. I think, yeah, we got Scream 7, and now I'm thinking everything 6, 7. What can I say? Oh, I shouldn't say 6 and 7 together. I'll get takedown notices from the alpha generation saying, no, that's ours. Leave it alone. All right, Lance says, if we're going on a tangent, let's go on a tangent. What about ghosts? Ghosts are interesting. I want to say I don't believe in them, but I've seen one. So, but I don't think it was a spirit. It's kind of, this is kind of what I think. Now, I think that ghosts are, and this is my own theory, guys, take this with a huge, huge, huge grain of salt. Put on your woo-woo alarms, everything. But I think ghosts are glimpses, not of a dead person or anything like that, but I think they're just glimpses of other universes. That's what I think they are. I think a lot, I mean, and not all of them. I think a lot of them are people just, hallucinating or thinking they saw something. Um, but I think, some of the more, maybe some of the more unexplainable ones, I think it's more or less a little bit of bleeding between a couple, like maybe two universes got really close for a bit, and you're kind of seeing something from that other universe. And especially if it's a universe, like if you go with the many world theories of quantum mechanics, it's a universe where somebody said yes, and in that universe, somebody said no. So most stuff is moving exactly the same way. So I think that might be what people are seeing, and in some cases, who knows? Maybe the ghost you're seeing is actually yourself from another universe. I don't know. I really, I really don't know. But I, I'm not super concerned about poltergeists or anything like that. I think there is an explanation. I think there's a scientific explanation for them. And that's kind of where my hypothesis is. How to test that? I have no clue. But I don't worry myself. I will walk through a graveyard at night. I'm perfectly safe. Well, from ghosts, I'm safe. If a mugger sees me walking through a graveyard, it might be like, ooh, easy target. Let's see. Transporters are nonsense. Quantum entanglement doesn't work like that. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Let's see. Financial Express. We're one away, guys, by the way. The Tic Tac prove that someone has solved travel to other planets based on radar and pilot. Eyewitness reports they move so fast that they had to move around the air, not through it. Well, it's hard to say. You see, a problem is with a lot of those videos that were released, there's some of them where you can sort of say, people are guesstimating how far away they think the object is, and that's not good. And I'll tell you why. Because if you have something closer, like if it's a smaller object and it is closer to your camera, it can, if you guess that it's further away than it is, the movements that you see, obviously that speed gets amplified, because if it's farther away, it has further to go on that view, to get across. So without actually having any kind of real distance value, it makes it a little bit difficult. It makes it a little bit difficult. Now, I'm not saying it's not, it's nothing. I'm just saying I'm not fully convinced. That's all I'm saying. JPM, so Global Equity Premium Income UCITS ETF USD. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah, because that was what we were looking at, basically JPM. Lance, back to stocks. Walmart made a comeback after I stepped out of it. Oh gosh, that will do it. So on the German stock exchange. Okay, all right, there we go. There we go. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I kind of wish I had access to every stock exchange in my little portal there. GTA 6 will go MIA when it comes out. Okay, so it's 6. There we go. It's not 7. So it's 6, not 7. Haha. All right. Canada could do much better. Like, why are we buying Ings from Australia? Seems ridiculous. It's hard to say. It's hard to say. I don't know. I don't know anything about Ing. Is that like an Ignet or something? Is that what you're looking at? I'm not sure what you're saying. But let's see here. Lance says, I have a picture of a ghost and many stories to tell. Oh, did you take a picture? Now, did you take a picture? Is it a physical ghost? Or is it a, I don't know, an orb? But please do tell. And, oh boy, guys, we have our 4th super. Larry M with a $2 super, releasing, of course, our Math Goat. Our Math Goat is in the building. We have a show on Monday. And we also have a question here. Barbecue or Indian food? Ooh, great question. I do like both, but The winner, hands down, is barbecue. I, I love barbecue sauce. Anything with barbecue sauce on it. Like if I have to eat a food I don't like, I'll just add some barbecue sauce. It makes everything good. Um, but yeah, no, barbecue wins, 100%. Oh, LNG, not ING. Okay, all right. So yeah, all right. Liquefied natural gas. Um, Good question. I don't know why. I still don't know why we're buying liquefied natural gas from Australia. We have enough natural gas here, unless there's something different about it. But I would have to research that. I'd have to find out why we're doing that. There might be a reason. And I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. So this is not an example of that, but I'll give you a different type of example. And I don't know if this is the case, but look at the United States when in the terms of oil. They buy oil from Canada, but they're exporting a ton of oil. And in this case, the big reason is that we've got the heavy crude and their refineries are set to, well, to process heavy crude. They're pumping light crude. They don't have a lot of capacity to do that. And they don't want to have a lot of capacity to do that because they can sell that oil for more than it costs to buy our heavy crude. So they're making net profit. So for every barrel they buy, they're selling a barrel and they're making more money. So it's kind of like the oil's paying for itself. So that's kind of a neat little trick that's going on with that. Now, with liquefied natural gas, I don't know if there's anything similar to that. I really don't know. So I don't know what that situation is between Canada and Australia, but it seems to me there has to be something in there, unless of course they're doing it as part of a bigger deal. You know, you might say, like maybe you could say, well, we don't need your LNG, but we'll take your LNG if you take this Canadian beef or something like that. So there might be a bigger, there might be a bigger picture going on. Let's see. Grocery stores are full of Australian beef. Oh, are they? Really? I did not know that. I never heard of us buying Aussie LNG. That was the first I heard of it. I'd never heard of it before that either. All right. A Pepman says, back to stock questions. Thoughts on IEFA? All right. Well, let's jump on in. Whoops, that's a U. I need to get a little more personal. I got to get to I, not you. All right, IEFA. Let's see here. Here we go. IEFA. So this here is a US. It's an iShares. So I like iShares. I like iShares right away, and I know exactly what this is. We have a Canadian version as well. So this here is the US version of the MSCI EAFE ETF. So this is emerging markets. I like emerging markets. One of the things I like emerging markets is that, they have a lot of room to grow. They really do. And I think that's a solid part of diversification. So when you do look at some of the all equity ETFs that we have here in Canada, so your XEQT, you get actually the XEQT, which is it holds the Canadian version of this, as that's where it gets its exposure to emerging markets. So I like this, and quite literally, let's take a look, see if we can see here. Let's pull up. Oh, I can't see a thing. Actually, you know what? I know why. I grabbed the wrong IEFA. There we go. There's usually two of them in here. Oh, that's because it wasn't showing me the other one. Why is it not showing me the other one? It's not showing me, like, if it's got that little triangle, it usually doesn't give me any information at all. Normally I will get the other US one as well. Let's go over to Yahoo. We'll have to pull this one up on Yahoo. IEFA, so that we can see the performance. All right, there we go. So here's IEFA. It's the iShares Core. And this one here, we are seeing some performance. And here, let's actually, let's see here. Whoops, here we go. I want the advanced chart so that we can actually look. And I'm going to pull up the 1 year. There we go. This is what I wanted to show you. Here's Liberation Day, and the world's been doing actually pretty good since Liberation Day. We've seen, especially Europe. Europe has had a lot more strength in their banks, but this is emerging markets. So India might actually there probably is some exposure to India in here because I think they're still classified as an emerging market, but India has the fastest growing economy in the world. So I do like, yeah, I like IEFA. I like this line. All right, ordering barbecue, says Larry. Oh, you may be the first person to use the super chat to determine what to order. Andy says, did you get a NVIDIA short play yesterday? I did not. I did not do anything to, I've been sitting in NVIDIA. I do, like I've done some, I think part of it is that I've been doing step down trades on some of the other US ones that I'm stuck into. If I don't see some recovery on Monday on NVIDIA, I will probably start doing some step downs. I'm not going to do any kind of a short play. It's more or less just where I sell it, I let it drop a bit, and I get back in. So I'm effectively lowering my break even. But I will probably do that with NVIDIA on Monday if it doesn't show some signs of recovery. So that's, yeah. I still am miffed by how badly people are so freaked out over NVIDIA. I mean, their numbers were good. They really should have, this should have been a different story. Makes me think of those multiple universes, Lance. All right, Lance, physical. My friend's very young son said he had a friend he played with, but we couldn't see. Caught him in a picture when she took a picture of her couch. He's clear as day in the picture. Okay, interesting. Interesting. I can tell you my ghost story one of these days. It's kind of creepy though. Perlovia. I'm thinking Brookfield has interest in the LNG coming in from Australia. Seems wrong if so. Once again, I don't really know anything about it, so I can't really comment. I'm not sure. Larry, let's see. As a shareholder in Woodside Energy, Australian oil company, I couldn't be more proud. There we go. Lance's barbecue is so good. I wonder if it's a ticker for something. I think it is. Let's try here. BBQ. Whoops. Let's actually try this again. BBQ. Here we go. It's not. Why is it not? Why is there no BBQ? Somebody, like if I have a company that makes barbecue sauce, I want BBQ as my ticker. Petman, sorry, what is the Canadian version of IEFA? All right, let me see here. All right, iShares. All right. Actually, you know what? The best way to get my ticker is actually very easy. Let's just go over here. Let's just go to XEQT ETF. There we go. There we go. Boop-a-doop-boo. iShares. All right. Perfect. We're going to bring this up. Here we go. Here is our iShares. Now, we'll just go to holdings. All right. Let's see here. Here it is right here. XEF. There we are. Darn it. I knew it was an XE. I just didn't know what the next letter was. But XEF, and in here, we'll just pull this up. XEF. And here we go. So this is your Canadian version, XEF. And when we pull up that 1 year, exact same story. Exact same story. All right. Michael says, what is CNBC making statements about private sectors could see another 2008 that tech and banks keep selling off? I really don't think it's that bad. I don't think it's that bad, but that would certainly be concerning if it was that bad. But I think more or less, you got to keep in mind too, a lot of these news programs, they will bring on some of the bigger, a lot of the people that they interview sometimes have extreme opinions because, they get better views if they bring on some of the more extreme opinions. So you always want to take it with a grain of salt. Just because they bring on an expert who says, oh yeah, this could be another 2008. Well, the key word there, of course, is could, not that it will. So I would say, right now, no. I would say we would have a better chance. So, if tech kept selling, and if the Nasdaq went into a bear market, that could push the S&P 500 into a bear market as well. Um, we're not talking like financial crisis level. Now, if we had, everybody talks about the AI bubble burst. If we had worst case scenario AI bubble bursts and everything, going down, we could see another .com. But the odds of that are really, really slim because a lot of these companies, they do, even though they have really high valuations, they still have, the validation of those valuations. They do have, they're not basically empty companies with nothing that are overvaluated. They're companies that do have pretty darn deep moats. So it's not the same situation. So I wouldn't worry. I'm not worried at all. Let's see. Woodside uses floating ships for offshore extraction, which is very cheap. They're also in the Gulf of the Gulf of America. There we go. Oh, Nightbot, we don't need you. We already got a show. All right. Let me turn Nightbot off. Nightbot, you're off. Mind you guys, there is one more goat. We do have our seasonal goat. But, I laughed a little too hard at that one yesterday. Lisa says, I want to hear your ghost story, Candace. Oh, boy. All right, guys. I will tell the story. Oh, boy. I feel like I should start turning the lights down, but I'm not going to do it. I don't want anybody to get too scared. So it was kind of a weird situation. Oh, gosh. I was maybe 19, 20. So I was downtown with a friend, and it was late, and the buses had already stopped. So I had no way home. Now this friend, he was running, like he was sort of a super at a little boarding house. And he says, look, there's an empty room in there. Why don't you just take it for the night? I said, fine, I will. So I went in, I was lying there. I don't know. I couldn't sleep. I was just like, I tried. And at one point I rolled over and I looked up at the ceiling, and I saw something there, and it's hard to describe it. If you had it kind of looked like spaghetti, but thicker, like giant, I don't know, kind of glowing like spaghetti. So it was just hanging in the air. I'm looking at it and I'm like, all right, I don't know what the hell that is. I don't know if I'm seeing things or something, and maybe I was. I could have been. I don't know. I mean, I was half asleep. So I just, I had my backpack right there next to the bed. I was fully dressed. So I just grabbed it and I left. I was like, nope, I can't stay there, because it kind of freaked me out a little bit. So I left and I started walking. I decided I was going to walk home. It was about a 3-hour walk. But I was just like, I'd rather do the 3-hour, well, probably closer to 2.5, to be honest. I would rather do the 2.5-hour walk than stay in that room, because it freaked me out. So I kind of forgot about it as I was walking along. And I'm just walking along, and normally I would just walk down one street and down another, but I started doing sort of side streets. I don't know, maybe I was thinking that, if I did side streets, it would be like going it might be a faster route. I don't know. But at one point I stepped on this street, and it was called Cork Street. And the second I stepped on Cork Street, it was like, ugh, I felt really uneasy. So like the hair on the back of my neck was standing up, and I was like, I feel like I'm being watched. There was nobody there, but I walked along, just one block of Cork Street. And once I stepped off Cork Street, the feeling was gone. I was like, okay, that's weird. And I didn't even connect it to what had happened at this boarding house. So rest of the night, no problem. I walked, I got home. It was probably like 4 a.m. or so. And, for probably closer to 5. I went to bed. I slept for a few hours or so. I woke up probably closer to noon, and I wasn't thinking anything about the night before. And I was listening to the radio. And then they were like, oh yeah, they were like, one of the top stories is that there was a murder last night on Cork Street. I'm like, oh, I was on Cork Street. And the time of the murder, and I can't remember what the exact time was anymore. This was so many years ago. But the time of the murder was around when I was seeing the spaghetti in the air, or whatever the hell I was seeing. I don't know. So anyway, weird story. I can't fully explain it. I don't want to. I don't want to sort of think that it was a ghost. I mean, maybe the murderer person. I don't know. Maybe they were on Cork Street when I was there. I just don't know. Maybe I was being watched. I don't know. Maybe it was just all a whole bunch of coincidences. I don't know. Anyway, that's my my Cork Street ghost story. Definitely was weird. Um, and I have, like I said, I really don't know what happened that night. So I kind of leave it as a big giant question mark. Okay, now, see, why did you ask, Lisa? Why did you ask? It's funny, as I was telling it, I could feel a little bit of creepiness on my back, on the back of my neck. But anyway, Michael says Walmart is heading to 120 with all the downgrades. That hasn't come back, and only on the 20-day. Yeah, Walmart. Oh boy. At least they saw a little bit of movement today. Zenial says, I like VXUS. It did amazing last year. I can't find a Canadian listed version of it though. That's a good question. I'm not sure. So VXUS, is that going to be a Vanguard on the US side? Let's see here. Yeah, Vanguard Total International Stock. Interesting. So that is kind of interesting. Yeah, I don't know of any. Now, this is kind of funny. It's making me think of what Evolve might be doing right now. So Evolve, of course, they have a new ETF coming out called Easy. And it is kind of like, it's like an all equity, but it's, I think it's going to actually hold all of the other ultra ones. So it'll have like Inti, Sixy, Biggie, and Canny in there. So I think it's going to be heavy on this side, but you are going to get some of that international in it. So it's, I don't think it would be the same as this though, because obviously this one here is not going to have covered calls. It's not going to be income related. This is going to be very much like, let me see, I bet you they're really, oh, actually it's higher than I thought for Vanguard, 3.24% yield. And yeah, once again, doing really, really well. So yeah, I don't know of any that are exactly like it, but even when you look at something like XEQT, FEQT, VEQT, they're like it, but I mean, they do have, of course, the emerging markets. And I think you might be looking for something that's more industrial. I would say stay tuned. I would say stay tuned. I think we're going to see some more of those type of ETFs start popping up, especially as we expand our trades and, and start moving beyond the United States. Larry says they own 25-year lease Grassy Point in BC. Ooh, nice. Paul, yes, NVIDIA closed at 177.19. Somewhat glad I switched from NVIDIA 189.75 to HHIS 1076 yesterday. The HHIS drop today was ex-dividend day, 26 cents dividend and 14 actual drop. Oh yeah, that's not too bad. Lance says, I was looking at RPD for dividends. They have good growth and it's something to complement Canadian dividends. RPD, I'm not familiar with RPD. Let's take a look here. RBC, Quaint European Dividend Leaders. Okay, interesting. Or were you looking at the, or you could have been looking at the Rapid 7. But no, I think this is the one you were looking at. Yeah, Quaint European Dividend Leaders. How have they been doing? Yeah, they've been doing pretty good as well. So this is, I think, a similar one. But this is, of course, Europe for sure. Let's see. Google is not pets.com. Okay. Paul, so all these mega cap companies that dropped will eventually recover when you are not looking. Yeah, they will absolutely recover. Even if they went into a bear market, you know what? They're going to recover on the other side of that as well. What are your thoughts on Palantir and Anthropic? Oh, yeah. Here's the thing. I guess here's the thing. I I think part of the big issue, and even the Pentagon has weighed in on this, is when it comes to defense, right now, Anthropic is taking the stance that they don't want their AI to be used to kill people. And the military, and and of course Palantir's in the mix as well, is kind of like, well, we need to defend the country, and sometimes that's what it takes to defend the country. And that AI, you shouldn't have guardrails on AI if it's being used for defense. That's kind of the whole thing, and it's a bit of a mess. It's a bit of a mess. I see both sides. I certainly understand that we don't want to be teaching AI how to kill people. I mean, what if AI decides we like that? So I can see both sides for sure. So I don't know where the middle ground is going to be between the two of them. But I have a feeling this will be a developing story. Now, I think with a different administration, perhaps it wouldn't be so pressing, but because one of the threats that I heard that came out of the Pentagon is that they could, that the U.S. government could classify Anthropic as a supply chain threat. Now, if they did that, that would be really bad for Anthropic. And the reason it would be bad is that if you are determined to be because this is a designation they would only give to like a hostile country. If they gave that designation to Anthropic, then nobody would be allowed to trade with them, because that would be part of the whole deal. So it could pretty much cripple Anthropic if that happens. So I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's just an idle threat. But, yeah, it's pretty messy. It's a messy situation for sure. All right. Michael says, be right back. That market getting crazy. Okay. Paul, Trump just issued an executive order to phase out Anthropic over the next 6 months, then never use them. Oh, did he? Oh, well, I guess that threat on Anthropic had a bit more bite than I thought. Okay. All right. Well, that's not good for Anthropic. It's probably good for the other AI companies, but yeah, and it was all had to do with the fact that they wanted Anthropic wanted some guardrails, and the government was not very happy about it. So, I did not realize. Well, I've been here. I'm missing the news right now, so I did not know this. Let's see, Samantha, Trump just posted about dropping Anthropic from the federal government. How will this affect the market? I don't know much about them. Oh boy, and this is the thing. It could certainly stoke the current check thing that we've got going. It could. We'll have to see how it ends up resulting, but obviously, I don't think it's a great move, but I like. I can see both sides to it, but yeah, I can understand why the government's upset. But I think there's some middle ground. I think there could have been something middle ground. I think the government might have acted a bit rash, and this will certainly hurt Anthropic big time. It could help some of the other ones, or it could also stoke the fear, that whole AI fear that we got going on. So let's see. Let's stay tuned, everybody. Larry ordered a whole pound of brisket. Nice. All right, Nice. I have 4 brokers, but normally goes with the one that have the lower fees and 20 country markets I can invest in. How many markets do you have access to? Most of our brokers have access to 2 markets. Now, there are specialty brokers that will give you access to other markets, but for the most part, most of us are 2. Most of us are 2. But we can gain exposure. Like there's a lot of, like Canada has a lot of ETFs. Like we can get ETFs for pretty much any country. You can get like India, Japan, China, Europe, Australia. I've never looked to see, you know what? Nice, I've never looked to see if we have anything for the Netherlands. Let's just take a look here. We may, wait a minute. All right, well, we have through the U.S., we have the iShares MSCE Netherlands ETF. So we could actually, we could do this one. So this here is, once again, it's I have a feeling it's going to look pretty good. Yeah, not bad, not bad. Look at this, guys. So this here is on the US EWN. It is the Netherlands ETF. Perlovia says, I'm going to bring the red wine. Scott says VGTSX equals VXUS. Let's take a look. VGTSX. Ooh, volcanic gold mines. Never heard of them. They're a penny stock though. I'm like, they're up 4.55%, but yeah. Yeah, I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. And Freakin is in the house. Hey, Freakin, how you doing? Paul, is the Anthropic ban why Palantir didn't go down today? Amazon didn't go down today either. That's a good question. I mean, obviously, if he did this executive order just recently, I don't think it would have had an impact. We're probably looking at an impact on Monday for that. Yeah, Anthropic wasn't. Yeah, they're not publicly traded. As far as I know, none of the, well, obviously the big companies like obviously Google is publicly traded, but OpenAI is not yet publicly traded. Anthropic's not publicly traded. You need to buy, let's see, you need to buy now and pay later for 4 steaks from Costco. Nice. Did you miss my picture about seeing the picture, or did you ghost it? Neither. I did comment on it. I'm pretty sure. I read it. I did read it. So yeah, no, you took the picture, and the kid was as clear as day in the picture. Yeah, that's pretty creeper. That's pretty creepy for sure. Was away helping someone do their taxes online. Hopefully they're not paying, Rory. Let's see. I think you typed that wrong. Can't tell. You didn't show the screen. Oh, okay. Fair enough, Scott. Let me go back to it again. Oh, I thought the screen. All right. Here we go. So I typed in VGTSXE. So VGTSX. Yeah, no, that's what I got. VGTSX right here. It's not bringing anything up. But here, sometimes if I just get the name of the company, let's just go to Google. We'll drop it in. Here we go. Hello. There we go. Vanguard Total International. Okay. I'm just going to grab this. I'm just going to grab this part here. And we're going to bring that back and see if that'll give us anything. Vanguard International Dividend Appreciation. So I got VIGI from the US. Vanguard International Total Bond, High Dividend, International Stock, VXUS in the US, and there's also the VIC 400. Oh, that's interesting. So, yeah, I don't know why it's not coming up in here, but and here, let me grab it again. Let's actually try over here in Yahoo. Here we go. All right. Let's see here. Here we are. It's showing up in Yahoo. So yeah, this is the 1 year of the Vanguard Total International Stock Index. Yeah, look at this. That's not bad. Not bad. In the year, they've gone from 1995 to 2698. So that's not too shabby. All right. Now, where were we? Yes. And Paul's in with his channel member super chat. So guys, if you're a channel member, you get 1 free super chat. It doesn't count when we're doing the Financial Express, but it does mean that you will get highlighted. So if we're really busy and you drop that in, I will try to get to it faster than I would a regular comment. And Paul says, a member for 27 months. Holy banana bread, Paul. That's awesome. Thank you for your 27 wonderful months of support. Lance says, no, I asked if you wanted to see it. Oh, yeah, throw it over on the Discord, Paul, Lance. Yeah, I would like to see it. I have a feeling it's going to be creepy, but just only because, I know what it is. Some of those five-letter stocks in the USA are not available to Canadians, and that might be part of it too. And oh, just going back to Lance. Lance, if you can do it right away, I can bring it up in the chat. I'm sure everybody wants to see a ghost baby, a ghost child. Let's see. No, asked if you wanted to. Yeah, okay, there we go. Perloaf, we've got the best barbecue here in Texas. You all have a great weekend in the southern. Sorry, let me try. I'm learning how to talk. This is my first time. You all have a great weekend here in southern Manitoba. It's been nasty, windy day, so no barbecue here just yet. Yeah, it's a little chilly. How do I join the Discord? Oh, well, that's simple. You just go to the link that the Nightbot's about to drop, or hopefully drop. All right. Yeah, so if you want to just put it over there. So yeah, I mean, by the time you get set up, I'll probably be gone because we're well past when the show was supposed to be over. But yeah, and just remind me next show, if you get it over there, I'll bring it up. We'll look at it. We'll look at it on Monday, or we can look at it on Sunday if you're here. You're always here. So we'll look at it on Sunday. Was windy last night here in Saskatchewan. Now you have it. There we go. No, it's actually not that bad of a day here today. I have no clue what the temperature is. Really, like quite literally, let's take a look. I honestly have no idea. Yeah, news, Weather Network, here we go. Oh, it's actually 1 degree. Okay. But look at that, that's pretty bad. A -2 wind chill. I did not know it was that warm. Okay. Are we actually getting good weather here now? Oh, yeah, look at this. It's going up to 4 tomorrow. And then we're going into cold, and then we got 5 to 10 centimeters of snow. Holy banana bread. Let's see. Lance says signal is bad at work. I'll send it as soon as I can. Yeah, sure, for sure. Absolutely. Gary in the house with a happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, and that's a great way to end the show, actually, guys. Once again, you guys are awesome. Another fantastic show. We will, of course, be back here on Sunday for this week. Well, and that's a bit of a longer show. We'll have some fun. We'll have lots to talk about. It will be awesome. And it'll actually be the first day of March. Can you believe it? We're almost through the winter. I can't wait. Until then, though, guys, I do have a couple of things I just wanted to very quickly say. And that is, well, bye-bye.